Hello everyone, this is Caleb Simpson here from ZeldaDungeon.net, and you are watching our video walkthrough for The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. This is the boss of the Stone Tower Temple, the giant masked insect, Twinmold. Honestly, I find that title a little misleading since there are actually two of them, and for those of you who don't make the connection, these things are Moldorms, an enemy from several games in the Zelda series, thus Twinmold is a play on the word Moldorm. As the battle begins, you can target either the head or tail to get Tattle's clue, and apparently the body is invulnerable, but the head and tail are susceptible to our awesomeness. Good to know. Now, first of all, let's try out the dungeon items, since the typical Zelda formula is to use it on the boss. Light arrows will damage them, but as Tattle said, you have to aim carefully because the body follows the head, and it's far easier to simply wait for the tail and then shoot it. So while hitting them with range with the light arrows works, it's not very effective. Now I do want to point out though that it is also possible to damage the insects with close range attacks as well, and one of the better ways to do this is to get close to them initially, is to start out on the platform and use the Goron mask to roll up to them. By starting on the platform, you're ensuring that your rolling starts out fast, because if you start rolling in the sand, then you move really slow, but if you start out on the platform, you can start rolling very quickly, so you can move around. You can watch them, and when they start going into the sand, you can quickly roll towards them and try and either punch them or use some other attacks. Now, you can try hitting them with your sword or fire punching them, but you probably will just end up getting yourself hurt, as I demonstrate here. It's very hard to get just the right distance so you hurt them without damaging yourself. A more successful tactic at this point is to either use the blast mask or very well-timed bombs, since the explosion has further range. You can also use the Zora mask to charge up your double cutters, but those are so slow and are also very similar to light arrows that I just don't really see the point. Anyway, I'm just going to fast forward through the rest of this. I was stubborn and really wanted to show me actually damaging them with the Goron mask, but for this particular recording, it never ended up happening. All this just goes to say, while it is possible to fight them up close, it's not really a good option. So what was Tattle's clue again? She mused that if only there were some way that we could be the same size. Near the end of the temple, we got the Giant's Mask, but its description implied that we would only be able to use it in one specific place. Slap that sucker on and check out how deep Link's voice is. Aha! You can slash the heads, but if you're not too careful, you'll just take damage doing it that way. It's far easier to simply just follow the tails along and slash them repeatedly. You'll do loads of damage this way. Just be sure that you don't stray too far from the middle, because at a certain point, the desert just kind of plummets off into an invisible pit of death. The arena that you're standing on is kind of circular shaped, or more like a hexagon really, and as long as you're only hunting the insects, you should be fine. Basically, if you stray outside of where the ruins are, you go a little bit further past that, then you'll fall into the abyss, so try not to go out there. So apparently, insects explode one piece at a time when they die, just like dragons in the last game, who suspiciously had similar body design and movements. Now, the one downside to this mask is that it costs a lot of magic. Now, fortunately, we can destroy these random pillars and such throughout this area. You can slash them with your sword, but as you can see here, the Moldorms themselves can break them as well. In order to collect the magic jars, you're going to have to take off the Giant's Mask, and this leaves you much more vulnerable because you'll take a lot more damage to get hit, and sometimes they kind of chase after you too, but you also sink in the sand and can't move very quickly, so if you have the bunny hood, I actually recommend you use that to make this a little bit easier and go get the jars before they disappear. I think I was a little bit late for some of those magic jars, so I went to go grab some other ones, but anyway. Alright, so once you have defeated it, you may want to go snag some more magic before moving on. So overall, I would say it's really not a hard boss at all. In fact, it's probably one of, if not the easiest boss in Zelda history, which is kind of surprising, especially so late in the game. However, I think everyone will agree that it was pretty epic and worth it. I guess I just kind of feel it's a little bittersweet, because while I think the Giant's Mask is cool and that was fun, I still find this battle somewhat disappointing because the whole temple required the use of all of your transformation masks. It was so unique, so well planned out, and I was just really hoping for a boss that required them all, as well as at different points in the battle. Like, at some point you use the Deku Mask, and at other points you use the Goron Mask, and at another point you use the Zora mask to kind of tie up all the temples, tie them all in and make them all used. I just thought that would be sweet, make it really challenging, because the rest of the temple was really challenging, but then I guess these stray fairies would be an absolute torture to find again in case we died on the boss, so I guess I shouldn't complain that the boss was easy, Maybe it's a good thing that it's this way. So with that, run back to the middle when you're done playing around and collect the heart container to increase your life by 1 whole heart. After that, step into the blue light to get Twinmold's remains. At long last, we're going to meet up with the last of the 4 giants.